Hello, this is Barry Coombs from DefineTomorrow.co.uk. I'm joined by Gavin McLaughlin, VP of XIO Technologies or Storage, whichever one we're going to call it. Obviously we're at VMworld. I'd like to know a little bit more about your company. To be honest with you, I don't know a lot about XIO, so give us the short pitch, who you are and what makes you different to your competition.
No problem. So we're a data storage company based out of Colorado in the US. We also have offices here, hence why I have my accent and I'm in Europe. We actually focus on an area of the market that we've got a reputation. We've actually been around for about 15 years. Originally known as XIO Tech, rebranded as XIO around 5 years ago. And our main focus is around the high performance, low latency I/O type of market. And it's where you're seeing a lot of startup vendors in the all-flash space. The difference with us is we actually come from a pedigree of being a disk storage vendor. So way back, we actually had a disk storage product known as the intelligent storage element, which was all built around getting the most performance and the most reliability from hard disk drives. And we have some unique technology that lets us do that. So we get about 3 to 4 times the performance at hard disks than anybody else. So what that means is we've been playing a lot of high performance space where people were moving towards flash. So around 4 years ago, we took that to the next level and implemented a hybrid array. So we use flash in conjunction with disk. Difference with our product is it uses a real-time analysis of I/O and moves it into flash only if it's worth doing. So it's not just a cache, it's much more intelligent than that. That evolved in the last year into us moving into the all-flash array marketplace, which is mainly because of a development in the marketplace. We're seeing a lot of people believe that to get high performance you have to have all flash. Now, for some use cases, totally tool. But we see flash as a tool rather than a solution. So we sell flash arrays, we sell disk arrays, and we sell hybrids with a combination of the two. And it's a bit like a car sales firm only selling minis. It's great until you want to move house, and then you've got a bit of a problem. You want a truck for that. So the idea is we have different tools, but using the same core architecture of the intelligent storage element, we can adapt between different worlds. And it's something we see an increasing need for because there's a lot of marketing hype going on in storage. I've just been talking at an event just now where a lot of people are saying we need to cut through marketing hype, and what's the right tool to use for the job, and how's the storage market changing?
And I think that's a message that we're seeing across the industry at the moment. Obviously from a perspective of the keynote this morning, the kind of mention was the focus should be on the business rather than the technology.
Absolutely. And
what you're saying is you're not just got one bag full of one product, you've got a number of different products that can meet different needs of a business.
It's like tape. You know, I remember people 5 years ago, 10 years ago saying tape is dead. No, it's not. Its role may have changed in the data center. It's certainly not dead. There's some people saying disk is dead. Utter rubbish. I mean, disk will have a place for a very long time in the storage industry. Its role might change to secondary storage rather than being primary, but it'll be around. And flash is the #1 tier for a lot of people right now. Will it be the #1 tier in 5 years' time? Probably not, almost certainly not. You look at what's happening with NVMe, with 3D XPoint, there's always going to be new tools. So I often say that people that design their architecture around a single media type are going to be in big trouble. It's important to be modular because right now we use enterprise grade SAS hard drives and we use eMRC flash drives. 5 years' time we may be using different technologies there. It might be the right thing to use leprechauns and hamsters on spinning wheels. Who cares? It's about solving, as you said, the business problem rather than saying the answer's flash. What's the question?
So looking at many people in the storage industry, it's made up of 2 parts. You've got the hardware on the back end, which sounds like you've got a very kind of diverse range, lots of different options and ways to handle that. How about kind of the front end, looking at integrations with vSphere, SRM, replication, snapshots, and data protection? What's your policy on those kind of elements?
So again, interesting time in the industry. There's actually 2 roads developing. On one side you've what I would call your traditional fully featured storage run. So I'd like some storage and I'd like snapshots, replication, snap lock, snap vault, snap make the tea, snap everything. Which is still a place for, and there's a lot of people who've got business applications tied into those functionality. So we get it. So we have a product named Igloo. You'll pardon the pun, Igloo's made out of ice. We talked about the ice product. We got drunk one night and came up with a product. The idea there is that Igloo serves that market, but we also have the intelligent storage element, which my engineering team will kill me for saying this, sorry if you're watching, is a bit like an intelligent JBOD.
Okay.
So the idea of ICE is it handles a lot of media management functions.
Yep.
So RAID rebuilds, performance tuning within the ICE.
Sure.
And then the control plane is in the igloo.
Okay.
So we use the ICE for what it's good at. Now what's interesting there is, first of all, you can adapt an igloo to be an ICE.
Yep.
So you can strip off the headers. So let's say today you decide to deploy fully featured storage.
Yep.
And 12 months down the line you think, this new software-defined model that you just talked about, how do I move to that?
Sure.
With every other vendor in the market, you've got to throw it away and buy something new.
Okay.
Not with us. You strip off the headers and you can ICE.
Okay.
So you can buy ICE today and use it in a software-defined environment, or you can deploy igloo.
Okay.
And ICE is, the line we use is the hardware foundation for software-defined storage.
Okay.
So people think you can use any old commodity hardware for software-defined. You can, but you'll probably just create an operational nightmare with swapping out disks and tuning.
Yeah.
We don't do that because we've already got a product that fits perfectly into that mold.
So you can add the value to that and you're kind of treating it like a building block kind of thing.
Exactly.
This is what you want to do today, swap part of that building block out and then change it for a different use in the future.
And you may even have, we have one customer who uses ICE for his performance, very skinny applications where it's all about performance and reliability, and then he uses igloo where he wants to have snapshots, he wants to have async replication, but the beauty is he can adapt between the two worlds. So we talk about adaptive storage a lot, and that can be moving between feature-rich and software-defined, or moving between hard disks and flash or hybrid. You can adapt whichever way you want to.
So what does the typical XIO customer look like? Do you work with specific verticals, specific technologies, specific challenges, or because of the breadth of your product, is it kind of from SMB all the way up to largest enterprise?
It ranges.
Yep.
It tends to be people that are looking for good price performance.
Okay.
So they tend to be in the higher performance range.
Sure.
We had that backed up actually by, we did some tests with Storage Performance Council. Okay. So they have their SPC1 test which looks at price performance. Sure. And when we launched our flash array, we were #1 on price performance. For exactly that reason. It's the workload where they need high I/O, low latency, and price matters. Okay. Now of course, there are people that want high I/O and low latency and don't give a damn about the price. Indeed. I'd love to have more of those. But we know that there is a gap in the market where people can't provide the performance they need and don't want to pay out for the big iron old school solutions. That's where we fit. That tends to be cross-vertical. Yeah. And it tends to be things like highly transactional environments like OLTP, OLAP, data warehousing, but also we've got a lot in VDI. Okay.
Obviously a big challenge where obviously we want the performance, but the cost is a big factor because we want that low cost per desktop. And that's exactly where our hybrid fits well. Okay. Because remember I said about our hybrid can adapt in real time? Yeah. That suits VDI, so you may be running at 50 IOPS all day, and then a boot storm happens and suddenly all hell breaks loose and you need 20,000 IOPS. Our hybrid will kick in, move it all to flash, service it for flash, and then move it back. And that halves the price. Fantastic. And that's where we've gone up against an all-flash array with our hybrid. Yeah. And not only do we come in at the same performance, half the price, often half the power usage. Okay. Because a lot of flash arrays, despite the fact that flash uses less power than hard drives, are actually quite inefficient because of processors. I say they're using server class hardware rather than typical SAN. And we have an end-to-end design. We design all our own hardware, use an industry standard components, but we don't go in and buy OEM hardware, which is a lot of them are doing, buying a couple of Supermicro x86 boxes, and then also sticking them with third-party disk shelves. Okay. We don't. There are disk shelves. Yeah. We use Intel processors and our own controllers. Sure. And that keeps the power down. Okay. So our blog is called definetomorrow.co.uk. We believe a lot of people at the moment are looking where the industry's going. Obviously we saw a lot of news with changes in the industry yesterday. So from your perspective, what would be your advice to an IT manager or someone working in IT with regard to your products, your industry? What should they be looking at to help them focus their kind of vision for the future? First of all, don't believe a lot of the marketing hype that's out there. People that sell one product will tell you that product will do everything. Of course. The analogy I use is square peg, round hole. Sure. You've got a round hole, round peg, brilliant, move on. Yeah. First of all, are you always going to have round holes? Yeah. So think about flexibility. How can you build flexibility into your solution and deployment? Yeah. Secondly, the best answer to a round hole is not a square peg and a big hammer. Okay. Yeah. And there are people out on this floor selling you square pegs and big hammers. Indeed. So you want a modular, flexible technology that also can adopt different media changes. As I said, 3D X-Point, NVMe is coming. People are going to need to lower latencies. Latency is probably the biggest killer in storage. Yeah. Can you do that with the architecture you're deploying?
and can you adapt in the future to move on? We're starting to see at last things like 4 and 5 year life cycles in storage in the industry.
Yeah.
Maybe great, your storage can meet your workload today. Can it meet your workload in 4 years' time? How are you going to do that?
And it's very outside the storage industry, what you're saying as well. If you kind of listen to a lot of the people on the show floor, cloud is the future, everything's going to the cloud, so people are trying to figure out how do they get to the cloud.
Yep.
It's more about just thinking about the future, thinking about how you're going to deliver platforms outside of storage that will allow you to move to the cloud in the future if that's the way you want to do it, or stay on board, or be hybrid. So,
well, that's where abstracting the control and data planes makes it easy.
Yeah.
Because if you've got control of the data, you're not at the mercy of the storage company.
Indeed.
So the risk we take is that we say we provide the best performance and best reliability.
Yeah.
Because we work in often a software-defined model where the control is somewhere else. If we don't perform and we don't give reliability, it's 2 clicks in vMotion to move us off.
Yeah.
So we have to perform, and the good news for us is because the product's been out there 7 years, we have loads of customers who've bought the box, never needed to see a service engineer, ever. So we actually have the proof rather than again, so I use the marketing hype.
Yeah.
We've actually I've got customers you can go and talk to.
Thank you ever so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Cheers then.